Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. When you work with your brother, you express things that you wouldn't express to your normal, if you had a partner or whatever, you kind of hold back a little bit. With your brother, you just let loose. You say what you want, you do what you want, kind of in a way where you shouldn't because it's a business, but the rewards when you're seeing your company grow together, that you build together as brothers, is awesome. Like you have that to know that you're doing it with your brother, your family, is something that you can't explain. It's hard to explain. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, once again, we always have special guests, but these guests today are the second half of the famous Renault Cell. Today we have the muscles, the construction boys behind the scenes that operate Renault Cell. It is such a pleasure to have Luke and Nathan here today. I'd like to thank you guys for coming in. So for those that don't know, Luke and Nathan are the other half. So we had a podcast going back a few months ago with Huss and Josh Mansour. They were the front end of Renault Cell, the client facing, the faces to the brand. But today I got really excited having these two come in today because they are really, they're never forgotten, but they're behind the scenes and they work absolute magic. And it's such a pleasure for us to have them here today so we can pick their brains and you guys can share some awesome sort of nuggets of information to our audience. So thanks so much for coming in, boys. So we've got Luke and Nathan, Karam. You guys are the builders.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
We get the work done.
You get the job done. But more importantly, you guys are brothers. Okay.
Yeah.
And why I wanted to touch on that, and we'll frame the conversation. I feel as though our podcast gives some phenomenal bits of information and allows a lot of the users to understand dynamics in business, some of the hurdles that they might face, etc. And you two being siblings is such a unique thing in business because business is tough already, right? And then when the four of you guys, so essentially you guys are all friends, great friends, yep, but you two are brothers in construction. So you're seeing each other's faces more than your wives probably, right?
So our wives are cousins, so we see each other every day.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, all the time.
All right, awesome. Well, what I wanted to touch on, boys, and feel free, whoever wants to get into this, what's it been like working together as brothers? So I want to first understand, has it been awesome working together? Because I know you guys come from also a family business in construction, but more importantly, like right now, you are like joined at the hip and trying to achieve this phenomenal goal for Renault Cell. What's it been like working together?
You want the truth or you want
the absolute truth?
No, look, there's moments where we want to kill each other and we probably, and unfortunately, probably the workers on site probably hear it, and even some of our clients. So it does get heated at times, but then there's the reward. Like you can't beat the reward.
Yeah.
Working together, like it's special. Like you mentioned, we come from a building background. Our dad was a builder, and our other brother's a builder too. So we've always worked together. And we've learned along the way, hopefully, what to take from work and what to not take home to our home.
It's hard. When you work with your brother,
it's a challenge.
You express things that you wouldn't express to your normal, if you had a partner or whatever, you kind of hold back a little bit. With your brother, you just let loose. You say what you want, you do what you want, kind of in a way where you shouldn't because it's a business, but the rewards when you're seeing your company grow together, that you build together as brothers, is awesome. Like you have that to know that you're doing it with your brother, your family, is something that you can't explain. It's hard to explain. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. And you know what? You brought us something very interesting. Like you're able, or you naturally just say things you probably won't to another partner, right?
That's correct.
Which is probably a good thing.
Definitely, yeah.
Because look, there's pros and cons, right?
Yeah.
But usually, if you say everything in your chest, right, or in your gut, it doesn't build up.
It's
right?
probably the delivery or the approach more than anything.
That's all it is.
I'd leave after a bit of a heated argument, and with Luke, I might hop in the car to go to another job or a meeting or whatever, and I'm like, probably could have approached it differently or come across a little bit differently, because like you said, you wouldn't probably say that to the carpenter or apprentice or one of the subbies on site. You deliver your message, but in a better way.
The good thing is there's nothing, like you said, there's nothing built up. We never leave. There's never a day where in my stomach or in my head I'm thinking, I should have said it to Nathan, or I should have spoken out. You say it, and it's good and it's bad. But
the biggest thing is if we can't take it home. We don't want it to affect. We visit each other or we're family dinners. We don't want to be crossing paths.
It happens a lot in a lot of families where family work together. They have a dispute, and then the families have to kind of not break up,
absolutely.
but they don't want to visit each other. So we don't want that to happen. We always said that from day one. Yeah. Never, if it gets to that point, one of us leaves or we both leave and just go our separate. Like, you know what I mean? You don't want to.
And how has it been, like, sort of managing? Because look, when you're passionate and you want to make something work, it gets more intense,
yes.
Right? And you guys, and one thing I absolute love about Renosell is your turnaround time and your delivery. It's so quick. So you've got short turnaround times, high pressure. You got delivery deadlines. Your clients are trying to sell quick, so the pressure's high. Yeah,
and add on top of that, me in his ear saying, get it done.
If you're talking about pressure, he's the. I'm very laid back.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't worry, Nathan, we'll get it done tomorrow. Like, don't worry, I'll get it done. What do we got? Hand it over Tuesday. It's Monday night. I'll get it done.
Yeah.
He's a stress head to the max, but I think that's why we work so well together.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? Like he'll put everything he can do to make sure it's going to get completed, executed on that day, and I'll do it. But he'll be my ear all the time. Sometimes I'll get a bit laid back. I'll say, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow. He'll say to me, just spend an extra 20 minutes and do it today. And we share that load, which is good.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, that's a balance. Yeah, you need that balance.
That's why we work so.
If we're both the same, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what would happen.
I think that's why we work so well together. Is because we're total opposites in that sense.
Yeah. So I'll probably adjust a little bit. So if I'm up here or wound up and I want it all done like this, and Luke's sort of there, I'll probably end up, whether I like it or not, I'll probably go down to where he is, and he probably comes up
a little bit to me.
So
perfect.
We meet in the middle, sort of thing.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the way. I think that's how it will probably stay. I can't change him, and he probably can't change me. But we can probably
work well together like that. That's why we work so well. It's just because of that balance.
So let's say, for example, like when you guys created the concept, we know the story of the casino, and you guys as siblings, you guys go back and you're thinking about it. Was there individually, you speak on your own behalf, was there any like sort of slight hesitation? Okay, going into it as brothers, was there any sort of like shit? I don't know. I'll give you an example. Like you value your brotherhood and your family connection so much that you don't want anything to get in the way. Yeah. Was there a moment where you said, I don't know, like, should we or should we not?
For me, I don't know, he might be different. For me, no. Anyone that knows me who watches this podcast will know I'm a risk taker. I'll do anything. Like if you said to me now, come, let's go open up a business, I'll say, yeah, let's do it together.
Wow.
But that's probably bad. I don't know if it's a bad thing to have. I didn't even cross my mind about, because I don't know. I love my brother so much, and I love my family values so much that I wouldn't even get to a point where the business would take over our family, if that made sense. So I just know that he wouldn't rip me off. I wouldn't rip him off. Business wouldn't get in the way. I just knew that in the back of my head, it wouldn't happen.
So it was not even.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't. I don't know about for you.
Yeah, for me, same thing. I wasn't, and being brutally honest, having. Prior to NSL, working with my dad with his company, working with my other brother, I must say I probably dealt with a lot then, and a lot of the ups and downs and trying to juggle it, probably sort of got through that stage. So going into this, I wasn't worried about our relationship 100%. It was more, if anything, it was more with our two mates. Is our friendship, is something going to happen with our friendship? So I was definitely not worried about our relationship as brothers, because mate, we've joined at the hip since we were born. So
I love that, man.
It was.
We worked with our dad. We worked
as the boys, as a group. It was more like, our friendship's there and the company's there, and hopefully we never get to that point where it does cross paths or interfere. But
we had that. We sat that down. Our first proper meeting. We sat down and we said, boys, like we're mates. We're always mates. We always will be mates. Then we got Renosell. if something's on your mind or something's wrong or you're not like, speak up, because become like mates is first and then Reno Cell's second in the way. So we don't want anyone holding grudges or getting angry with someone. So from the beginning, Huss, Josh, me, Nathan, we knew that from the beginning, that if it ever clashed or anyone had a problem, speak up and we sorted it out. And it's happened a few times where someone's spoken up and we just talked about it, moved on, and that was perfect.
I think it'll be ongoing. And I think it'll be ongoing. I think there'll always be difference of opinions or different directions. Always. I think if we can just be honest with each other and So definitely going into it with Luke, there was no hesitation.
So from my end, I'll speak on a little bit of my journey. Like I've been in business with my brother. I've been in business with my best friends. And it's a long journey. It's a roller coaster. You go through some absolute highs because there's usually no one you'd like to share your successes with.
That's right.
More than your closest people, right?
You
legitimately want to share it, and usually if you're in bed, if you're in business together, that's the sweetness tastes so much sweeter.
Especially when you're going out, you're celebrating, you're having you got, I know what you're saying, exactly what you're saying.
Because sometimes it's a little bit different. Like, let's say, for example, you guys weren't together. You come to your brother and you say, you share some of your successes. Like, it's awesome. It's fantastic. But, your brother probably won't be able to relate if he's not at that same stage or if he hasn't experienced the same success at that moment. But 100%. When you're together, the highs are super high. But the lows are so low, right?
I think the lows show you the people's colours, people's colours or intentions.
Absolutely, and look, to be honest with you, there are so many. I'd say between me and my brother, the highs are phenomenal. The lows are so tough, right? So tough, and what's amazing is sometimes the family bond gets you through the business problems. Do you know what I mean? Because you're never gonna ditch your brother. Right.
We'll put it this way. If I said to you, you asked me the question about did I have hesitation going to a business with my brother about losing that friendship. If I said to you, who's the person you want to be with at the lowest of the lows, I would say my brother. So I look at it as in, if I'm going to start a business with someone, I can trust my brother that if anything goes wrong, he's going to have my back. So rather than looking at it as losing my brother, he's going to have my back the whole time in that business, which is kind of a different, which is not different. So.
Well, that's awesome. Look, you touched on something that was so interesting. So, I know, your family has been in construction, right? P&L construction, right? So your father's been in construction. So I want to know, and you said you guys have experienced some of the ups and downs and all of that sort of stuff. I want to know a little bit more about sort of growing up. Right. So let's take a lot of the users on a journey, and I think it'll be really interesting. So let's go all the way from childhood. Where did you guys grow up? Like I'm a Southwest Sydney guy, right? Grew up in Belmore, majority of my life. I grew up, in an environment that was a lot more different than where it is right now, and access to information, all of that sort of stuff. I want to know, where did you guys grow up? What suburb? Give us a little bit of information.
A bit everywhere.
Was it a picket fence life?
Forget it. All the poorest of the poor. What do you mean? My mum used to go to she'll tell stories. She'd go to the shops and have to calculate what she was buying to make sure she had enough money for the next day. So we grew up very poor. He spent most of his time
not so much poor, just they were
making
working class parents, and
they had 2 jobs: work Monday to Friday, then work Saturday, Sunday, night jobs. We never saw my dad growing up much.
In our early years, we lived in Maryland when a couple of years old for a little bit. My parents bought a block of land. My dad was an electrician back then by trade, and then dabbled in a little bit of construction, and then they bought a block of land in Menai,
which was out of nowhere.
My grandparents said, "What's Menai? Where's Menai?" They're moving away from the family. It was still, very undeveloped, and I don't know what made him do that, but he bought a block of land there.
Big risk he took.
Built a house when we were like 4 or 5 years old. Didn't finish it for probably, we moved in, no carpet, no kitchen.
No concrete floors.
Sitting on. But again, that's what they did back then.
It was a big risk he took, because Menai wasn't Menai like it is, like the Southern Shire. Menai wasn't what it is now. It was going from Marylands to Menai was a 45-minute hour drive nearly. So there was no land. He was one of the first blocks of land in that Menai area.
Wow.
So it was a big risk he took, and I'm glad he took it, but it's something that not many...
But tell me about personally. So you grew up in Maryland, Guildford.
A couple of years.
And did you have a lot of family there?
Yeah. So we got cousins. Both our grandparents one lived in Maryland, one lived in Guildford.
Around the corner from each other.
We had some cousins in Maryland. So that was sort of the community. And so he was probably sort of branched away from them a little bit.
What was it like emotionally? Like, do you remember?
You might remember.
I was probably four.
I was
when
2,
we moved to Menai. So early on, probably don't remember too much. But we spent our childhood and growing up in Menai. Like we spent...
Like my memories of childhood is Menai, Sutherland Shire. That's where I grew up. I spent maybe 1 or 2 years in Marylands. We moved from Marylands to Dural for a couple of years, then we went to Menai. My childhood was Menai. So being obviously Lebanese in the Shire growing back then, 1989 or 90s, whatever it was, mate, some stories I could tell you later on.
I'd love to know.
Cronulla riots, smack bang in the middle of it. Seeing my mates on TV, but then speaking to them the next day like nothing happened. Stories there's good and bad.
What was it like? So, growing up, you went to school around Menai?
Menai, went to Menai High, yeah.
Awesome. And, was it I guess you didn't know any different.
No.
Okay. So growing up, your father is working non-stop.
Non-stop, yeah.
Your mother working?
Mother had by the time we went to school, probably she started working probably like 3 days a week, 4 days a week she was working, yeah. Yep. So she was working. So it was just get up, go to school, come home. Don't see my dad, but he'd come home very late.
Yeah, early on he was working.
He'd come home to discipline you guys.
100%. Don't tell me. Mate.
Your dad's coming home, Chris, and he just panic and run away.
Yeah, very, very, I wouldn't say old school family, but it was very... Sit down at the table, dad gets served first, dad eats, we eat, like make sure everything... That was younger age. As we grew up, obviously it changed a lot, but it was very cultural like that. Dad's the man of the house, made sure everything was done for him. It was different, but yeah.
Around like a son.
So you 2 boys, and who else?
My brother Paul.
Your brother Paul. So 3 boys.
3 boys.
Wow. Okay.
Which hope one day Paulie can jump on board with us one day. Will be good. But
that'll be awesome.
He's living life now where he's working now, so he's all right.
Fantastic. So you're growing up. Your dad's working super hard. Your mum's sort of working as well. And like, did you know that the family didn't have the luxuries? Did you know any better? Like, I'll give you...
back then, toy, like...
Yeah, let me give you an example. So, like growing up, I didn't know we didn't have anything, right?
It's funny.
Because you sort of... So, I've explained it to some of my friends. Like, back in the day, if you lived in a certain area, usually most people are similar in socioeconomics, right? Sometimes they're similar in background. Do you know what I mean? Ethnicity, etc. Right? Because the suburb starts to mold to the people in there. So you'd go to public school, and usually you're surrounded by people that are similar
to you,
or they have some similar. So you'd go home, like you don't know because none of your friends or your family doing something different, what I mean, or living a different type of life. Maybe the odd 1 or 2, but it was like never, like you just knew no different. So I never knew that it was so, like that wasn't the way life was really meant to be lived type of thing.
Which is a good thing.
Which was amazing.
You don't want to know as a kid. As a kid, you don't need to know.
Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah.
But did you guys know any different? Because, you mentioned Menai, like you're sort of stuck in between the Shire and the Southwest. You're in a suburb that's pretty deserted. Let's call it deserted. Back in the day, a lot of people would say that's farmland type of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Farm there. Yeah, there was.
Did you know any different? Was it just fun, normal?
Again, exactly the same as you. That's how we lived. And even if we saw our cousins or we visited relos,
the very same boat as us,
or similar, just living in another suburb. Very simple. No one was really materialistic. We didn't know. It's funny until no one knew about design and that. Like, had no idea. Even sushi, like eating different types of.
Like my kid eats sushi now. He's 2 years old.
No exotic stuff.
Like we were very And that probably came from our parents too. Like our parents,
very humble. Just
not humble. They probably weren't exposed to it, but just like like whether it was designer stuff or nice things.
Yeah.
It wasn't until we got older and my dad's sort of hard work with work started to pay off as we got into our teenage years, where he started to live a bit more comfortable, and we did experience some other, some better things.
Yeah, as a kid, you're naive in a good way. It's like,
mate,
you just see whatever's in front of you, you just think is the norm. You can give your kid a plate of, I don't know, a pizza, or you can give him some Lebanese food, and the norm's a norm. Whatever you get given every night is what you get given. You don't know what the other person's eating at home. So I don't know. We didn't miss it. It was normal. It was normal to us. I would not change anything from our childhood.
So you're growing up. Your dad's working so hard.
Yeah. And
so it's two questions, right? So did you feel, to a degree, because you guys talking, it's sort of similar, to my household, but my dad wasn't a builder, he was in printing, right?
Yeah.
But the absence in terms of, because he was working so hard, the absence of your father, right? Did you feel it, or did you know no better? In reflection, right now, you guys have kids.
Yeah.
So you probably spend so much time with your kids, because that's what the culture says these days.
I don't think my dad was around like we around now.
At our kids' age now, so they're newborns, 2-3 years old. We're in a better position, and I think for me too, I'll make a bit more of an effort to spend the time. If I can drop my son off at preschool, I'll drop him off, or if I don't work every Saturday, I won't work every. So there's a lot of things but we're in a position where we can sort of do that.
I don't think we didn't know any better. Like same as what you said, like growing up. I think it's how do I explain it? It's what you dealt with. It's the norm. Like my dad works day and night. Like it was just normal to us. Yeah, he wasn't a loving father, like a full, like not saying he's not a loving father. Sorry, emotional. He wouldn't come home and say, "I love you," like we do with my kids. Love you, play with you. He'd come home and we'd be scared of him in a way, in a good way. Like,
healthy fear.
Quickly pack up or tidy up here. Or if I had friends over, like my dad used to come through the driveway and the garage door would open up and I'd have mates upstairs and they'd get scared. They'd leave through the front door as he's coming in. So he had that fear on all our friends in a good way. Like they respected him, but they feared him. So it wasn't that we needed him or we lost something that everyone else had. It's just that he wasn't around as much.
But I think at those early years, because we're as kids still, babies or toddlers still developing, it did not take away from our relationship at all. Like people see us, we're closer than ever. Like it didn't affect. Look back and say, we
lost something from that.
We don't have that relationship. Like we're like that.
Yeah.
So
see,
because it hasn't affected our relationship or anything.
I guess you may have changed that experience mentally. And it would have been obviously family dynamics, but you've used your father as the inspiration. That hard work now becomes the standard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So growing up, you get to an age where, I know all of you guys in Renault are like footy guys, right? So
footy was everything, yeah.
Yeah. So you're growing up, let's say we take us to high school. You start to get to high school, obviously in high school, early high school, you don't know what you're going to do, but did you have any sort of dreams, aspirations, any thoughts, anything? Like obviously, so your dad's a builder. At this stage, has he transitioned from electrician to builder?
By high school. Yeah, high school.
All right. So was it one of those things where it was, I'm going to building, I'm going to league, I'm going to...
It was league. Oh,
for you go.
Yeah, for me, it was league. For me, even when I was probably like 8, 9, 10 years old, whatever, it was just league. That was
why?
Is it bad to say because I was good at it? I don't know. Like it was like
there's no bad.
Like my dad said, as soon as I played my first game of footy, he goes, he just knew. Like you can just tell when someone.
Your dad.
Yeah, when my dad saw me play like 4.5 years old. I played when I was 4.5 years old. Like a couple of years ago, or when we were talking maybe 5 years ago, he just said, when I saw you play, I just knew you'll be a good footballer.
Wow.
So as I was getting older, footy was everything. And I was good at it. So it was when you're good at something, you want to do it because you're good at it. So for me, going through high school, playing in the rep teams, playing for Cronulla, playing for St. George, getting the hype when you go to school, like, you know, girls and that, oh, he's a football player, blah, blah.
Yeah, Mr. Popular.
Like it was good. It was exciting. And that's what I wanted. That's what in the front of my head, that's what I wanted to do, because I wanted all that excitement, all that
everything
that tension,
that comes
all
with
that,
it.
oh yeah, going, like, you know, getting on TV. That's what I really wanted. So that's what I really wanted. But it was till, I think I might have been maybe 18. Well, maybe 18. I went to Newcastle and I was training with 20s up in Newcastle, and I was playing in the country first grade squad. We won a grand final and stuff. And I really sat down at the age of 18. I don't know. I can't remember if it was my coach or my trainer, and he was just talking about life through football. And he was just saying, listen, you're a great footballer, blah, blah. There's a moment now or next year where you're going to make a decision. You either go hard at footy, and that's all you want to do.
Fork in the road.
There's people that play reserve grade or play every now and again. They play maybe the first grade and they're 25, 26, 27, 28, and they're on the cups of making first grade. Or there's people that make it. There's not a big group that make it all the time. It's hard to make first grade, as you know. Like Joshua would explain, it's very hard. So there was a fork in the road when I was leaving Newcastle, and I came down to Bulldogs. I was training with 20s for Bulldogs.
Wow.
And I was training with them, and I was there.
Like you're there,
I was there. I was like Ben Barber, Josh Reynolds. Like, they're all with me. We're training together. And it was that moment when I really just thought to myself, like, is this what I want to do? Do I risk it to try and make it, or do I turn to something where I know it's not going to be a 10-year life, it's going to be a 40 or 50, 60-year life of, like, whether it was building or whatever it was. And I remember, because my dad loved us playing footy so much, the hardest thing for me was not telling my coach, not telling anyone else that I didn't want to play footy anymore, I wanted to do something else. It was my dad. I remember, like, crying. I was 18 years old, 19 years old, and I sat to my dad, like, across the couch, and I started just crying to him. It was the emotion of letting him down, not letting me down.
Wow.
It was letting him down. That's what really got me. And to this day, I still feel bad that I did it to him, and I let his dreams down as well. But it was something I needed to do then, and that was my fork in the road. And we could probably go on a bit later about what happens after that. But
did you get advice at the time?
Yeah, so I sat down. I can't remember if it was with my trainer or my coach at Newcastle, and he was a down to earth guy. He worked in the mines and he did it part time, and he wasn't telling me not to do it. I just remember speaking to. He was a guy I could talk to a lot, and I remember chatting to him and just saying, like, he's like, "Are you ready to go down to Bulldogs?" I was going from Newcastle to Bulldogs, and it might have been the way I answered it to him. I might have hesitated or done something, and he really asked me a few more questions after that if I really wanted to do it, if I really wanted to go down and really wanted to play footy for the rest of my life. And he gave me advice. Well, you don't have to do it. If you don't want to do it, like, if you're not 100% into it, don't do it. You're not gonna help anyone or make anything better by trying to do it if you don't want to do it. So I love footy. I love playing footy. If I get a football now here, I'll play around with it. I'll play footy for free. I enjoy playing footy, but the business side of footy, which Josh can probably tell you, the professional side of footy, that's what got me. I wasn't allowed to play my own style. Like, when you get into reps, you can't play your own style of football. If you do something wrong,
so the love of the game started to sort of diminish.
Not really the love. So the love of the game, I love footy. The professionality of the footy. So the back that comes with it, which is like basically, play this style. Don't do what you normally do. I want you to play like this for my team, or don't do that. And that was what I didn't enjoy. I wanted to just go out there and play. That's all I wanted to do. So that was a big difference for me. And that was where my I guess my future changed. And we'll go on about that. But I don't know.
But was there a plan B up until 18?
To be honest with you, no. I'm going to tell you right now. No. You ring any of my mates now. Anyone that knew me up until 18, they all thought I was playing first grade. That was the end of it. That was it. Like, I had a manager. I had everything, but that was it.
So there's no plan B. No. So literally at that fork in the road moment, and you make that decision, you're like, I'm at ground zero right now.
That's it. I remember.
Basically, I'm naked. Like,
I was in bed. I was in bed. I woke up the next morning in bed. Nothing.
Start again.
Like, what do I do at the age of
were you empty or relieved?
I was relieved because I didn't have the weight of telling my dad, which was good, and I knew. But then I started thinking to myself, what am I going to do? Like, what do I do? I'm 19 years old. No, nothing. Like, what do I do?
You didn't take school serious.
I didn't take school serious. No way. School was second for me. It was footy. Footy was first, and I went to Endeavour, which was a sports school. So it was footy. So I had nothing. I sat in bed, and then I don't know. You want me to keep going? I don't know. I sat in bed, and I remember my dad. I remember my dad coming in, and I thought, here we go. He goes, get up. I said, what? He goes, get up. Sat downstairs. We're on the kitchen table, and he said, what are you going to do? He goes, I don't care. He must have slept on it or whatever. Woke up and goes, what are you going to do now? Forget footy. What are you going to do now? And I said, I don't know. So we sat down for a good couple of hours. I said, he goes, well, what do you enjoy doing? And I said, I enjoy building. I enjoy building and I enjoy personal training, because up in Newcastle, we did, when you're playing 20s, you have to do some sort of TAFE degree behind footy. So I did my Cert 3 and 4 in fitness. So I had that behind me. I like building, I like personal training, but this was 2008. So the market, the recession of building was down. My dad had lost, I don't even want me to say this, but he had lost $500,000 on jobs. So he had he wasn't working at all.
Wow, yeah.
I think you were cutting grass, or you can probably explain what you were doing. But we had nothing. Like at that point in time, there was no building. There was no building for me to just go to my dad. Oh, you put me on foreman on one of your jobs, and I'll run it for you. Yep. There was nothing. He had no work, so there was nothing for me. I said, well, I like personal training, blah blah. So I remember speaking to one of my church friends. She was a girl. She was a pretty smart girl, ruler. I don't know if she'll like me saying her name, but I ended up messaging her and saying, I don't know what to do because I got nothing to do. She's like, well, I'll get you into uni. You'll get into uni. We'll get into ACU, because ACU take on, if you've got experience in life, they take you on as a postgraduate. I don't know what they call it. So she helped me get into uni to do my personal training, like fitness, like ACU, so I could become a teacher. I thought, you know what? Teaching is a good job for me. As people know, I'm very, open. I'm laughable. I'll be a good teacher. So I thought I'll do teaching. And my dad said, well, why are you doing that? You're going to help me at the house.
Okay.
Literally.
There's no sitting down.
He's laughing because he knows what's going to come next. When he built the house, he built it on rock. And he opens up a wall and he goes, start jackhammering the rock out. I want to expose all the rock under the house. He wants to put a gym and a cinema room and stuff in there. So that was my punishment in a way of every day waking up, going downstairs 7 a.m., jackhammering out rock, putting it into wheelbarrow, shoveling it out the front into the bin, probably for about 6 months straight. I just did that nonstop. He didn't give up on me. He just punished me every day doing that. Not punished. Not punished.
Can I just say? For me, the way I interpret it, it was almost like, all right, son, let me show you what
the real world, exactly.
What we do normally.
That's what normal.
This is what we do, and in his mind, he probably wanted the absolute best for you to do some, do your passion, which was the football part, and maybe it might have turned you.
Well, I think he knew if I didn't do that, I'd be going off with mates and stuff doing other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like for him, it was like, I'll do this. This is the real world. This is what you're going to do now. You don't want to play footy anymore, the fame and all that football. This is what you're going to start off with doing. If you want to do what you want to do, you got to start from the bottom. So that was a big thing for me then. I got into ACU, which was amazing. I went to ACU and I studied there for 3 years. I finished my degree actually I didn't finish my degree. I was a couple of lessons short finishing my degree. And this was another fork in the road again.
Wow.
So got to the end of uni and I started doing my own personal training. This is probably where I was a bit naive. I should have stuck out. I wish I probably stuck at uni and just finished it. But I was doing personal training on the side and the business was going so well that I was growing that I took...
You neglected the...
Which I regret now. Look, if that was my son...
Why do you regret it?
I would have just loved to just finish that degree. I don't know why. Just that exercise science degree would have been, like, rather than telling my son when he gets older, I did it, but I stopped at the end and I didn't finish it. I would have loved just to finish it. I don't, in a way, sorry, not saying I regret it. It was just I would have loved to finish it. I don't regret it. Probably I would have loved to finish it, but I left and I took a year off it and I did personal training and then I ended up opening up personal training business with my other brother, Paul. We had our own personal training business and that boomed. So that was a big step there too. So that was kind of something that was a bit different, but I've always, I guess, wanted to work for myself. I didn't want to work for anyone else.
Yeah,
Seeing my dad growing up working for himself, I didn't want to.
Was it an option to go work somewhere? Was it in your head? Like,
I never liked working for people, man.
But like, did it ever cross your mind, or just no? I can do this. I can do because
I'm very naive. I can do.
It's a good thing.
I could if someone's doing something, I think in my head I can do it better. That's just how I am. It's a bad thing to do.
It's not bad.
If we're doing something, if
you love the challenge.
I love the challenge. I love the challenge. But I hate it about me because I can't.
He's confident.
But I can't leave something. So if even at work now, if the form worker's coming in and he's doing something. I can do it. I know I can do it better than him. I'm bad. I'll let him finish. Let him leave. Then I'll fix it. I just feel like not I'm better than him, but I don't know. It's hard to explain.
And you don't like being told.
I don't hate being told what to do.
Or being controlled.
But do not look at that bad. That's like you have a certain level of standard.
Yeah.
Right? In yourself.
In myself. Not standing in work, in myself.
You have a confidence in your ability.
Yeah.
Right? You have a confidence in your mind that you can get something done. Like nothing's too far-fetched.
No. If someone says to me, do something, I'll do it. I'll try my way to do it. Yeah.
That is a trait that is rare and that is amazing. And that's like, that's something that I'd like, personally, that's the stuff I want to embed in, the next generation, the ability, the confidence, because I feel as though we as a community, a lot of people lack confidence in their own ability. They don't know their real value. They don't know that they can put their mind to things and accomplish things. So that's an amazing mentality.
Yeah.
So personal training business booms.
Personal training business, it's going well. We're honestly, knock on wood, we're killing it. We were known that we had a personal training business in Cars Park. Everyone knew about us. It was going good. Still building was there. Building's always kind of after footy was there. It was always close. So we were still doing P&L. So P&L was still going as we were doing personal training. So we're still building duplexes or we're doing small renovations. And I'll jump on the tools. I was always doing something. If Dad needs something at the house, I'd go to his house. I'd build it for him. Or anyone needed anything. So building was still there. Personal training was going so well, but it was just when I met Josie, my wife Josie, she probably opened up my eyes. I was working probably 5 in the morning, coming home at 8 at night or 9 at night. But but you have a break in the middle. You go have lunch or whatever you want to do, relax, whatever. But you can't do that as a if you want to have a wife and a kid and kids, have a family, that's not going to work.
No,
you can't do that. And that's when she said to me, so she was my other fork in the road. She said to me, personal training is not your future. Personal training is great business now if you want to do it, or if you want to franchise it and open up a few different things. But, it's not your future. Your future, you want to do building, and I want to do building. She was Nathan probably told, Josie's like Nathan. She was my foreman, or what do you want to call it, my boss. She just said to me, listen, you're going to get your builder's license. That's it. There's no ifs or buts. You're going to go do your builder's license, and then we're going to get you a job, and you're going to get into building. And she was the one that made me do what I wanted to do. So same thing. I spoke to my brother Paul, which was a hard decision. I said, Paul, I need to leave the business. I need to get out. I want to get into building, blah, blah. Did my course online and got a job, as a labourer, just as a standard labourer, just on the job site. I started from scratch again, and I just loved it from there. From there onwards, there was nothing else but I wanted to become a builder. I wanted to work for myself. And that was it. That was pretty much from there onwards.
And that leads you to the casino.
Oh, casino. Other things led to the casino.
But so you worked for someone all the way up
I did. I worked for my wife's uncle who had a job site. I was labourer but he saw my potential. So straight away from labouring, he put me on a site supervisor. Within 2 months, he said, you run the job.
It's in your DNA.
I knew what I was doing. So he said to me, just run it. And then from there, I got another job, same thing, site supervisor. And then my actual first job by myself, doing my own job, was actually my own house. Building my own duplex for my own house was my own job. I actually stayed away from him not stayed away from him, but I asked him for advice here and there, but I wanted to do it on my own. I didn't want to say to him, come do it with me, because I know at the end of the day, I'll probably just rely on him and he'll organise everything and I'll get it done. I wanted to kind of do it on my own just so I can learn and make mistakes and then understand the procedure and how. So I did my in-house stand, and then he came up with the idea. He rang me one day, and he just said, "I've got this little idea." And then when he has ideas, he doesn't have ideas much, not very often, but
he probably shelves a lot of them.
They're in here.
They're in the back somewhere behind his grey hairs. No. He doesn't have, not many times he wants to risk it and take a night. Like, he came with me with the idea of Renault Cell, and I just said, mate, I'm in straight away. I said, I'm in. Whatever we need to do, I'm in.
Wow.
So then that will lead to casino.
What a journey.
It's not a pretty journey. It's not a what do you call it?
Can I just say,
it's not a Hollywood journey.
I feel like, you came back home.
Yes.
At
it was
the
a
end
loop.
of it.
It was a loop.
I feel like it was like almost a full circle.
To be honest with you, I let a lot of people down during my journey. I disappointed a lot of people.
Why do you say that?
Just because I think the potential I had, same again.
Do you have regrets?
Probably big noting myself. I had the potential to play first grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I got told that through my whole entire life. I just didn't have the drive or when Josh explained on his podcast, he lived and breathed training, like going there and working. I didn't have that drive to do that. Like that was probably a negative thing of me, of being so laid back, that I knew I could just go on the footy field and play. The training side of things, I used to hate. I used to hate going to training. I used to hate doing fitness. I hate doing that stuff. All I wanted to do was just play footy. So disappointing is in I let a lot of people down. A lot of old coaches, a lot of old trainers that put a lot of effort into me. Like my dad, even probably these guys, like my brothers and stuff that saw potential in me. It was a lot of.
Do you regret it?
To be honest with you, do you want an honest answer? No. Probably now because where I am with my family and my business and stuff. No, I don't regret it.
Good on you.
I
do things differently.
No, actually, I don't know. Probably, do they say I wouldn't be who I am today without what happened to me? 100%. So I wouldn't probably do things differently. I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have had my kids. I wouldn't have been who I am today. I probably would have been some show-off footy player that just, is playing footy and wasted his 28, 29 before he starts thinking about what he's going to do after footy. You know what I mean? So I don't regret it. No. The fame would have been awesome, I guess. Like obviously the fame but no, I don't regret giving up footy to start a different life. No.
Wow. Good on you,
but
mate.
It's an ugly journey, but that's an ugly journey. That's not a good journey.
That roller coaster, I tell you what, like I feel like you pivoted a fair few times throughout your life.
Life's not pretty. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you want.
You were faced with some fucking like which way do I go? Like you're talking about changing, like jumping on a new highway.
Yeah.
And changing the trajectory of your life.
With nothing, yeah.
Yeah. So you've been faced with that a few times. So, man, and look, there's a silver lining between everything happens for a reason.
Yes, I agree,
you end up to at this particular point, and I said to the other boys before, and I think you really hit the nail on the head with this business. So at the end of the day, look where you are now. So fantastic, man. That's so fucking interesting, man.
There's probably some R-rated versions of that in there. I can probably explain to you after about
maybe next podcast.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a late night. We'll do a late night 9:30 podcast.
I'll give you a couple of scotches.
His journey is probably
Yeah, your journey would have been like from what I know. Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong. It was the family business.
Yeah.
So take me back to school, right? So your environment, you're in school, you're sort of about to finish, or you're in sort of late high school. Yeah, your brother's like obsessed with football. Your dad's working super hard. In your mind, are you thinking about what's next, or is it what type of consideration? Where was your mind at that particular time?
If anyone that knows me, I'm a thinker. And I was always, at 15 years old, I was probably thinking like a 20-year-old. At 10 years old, I was thinking like a 15-year-old. And I still do that now. And it's just probably the way I was born, but I was always probably a lot more mature than my age, and it was good and bad. Like,
are you the eldest?
Middle. No, he's the middle.
Middle. Okay.
But he's always been.
I was like Paul's the eldest. I'll never take that away from him, but I was always thinking. Just even now, I don't stop thinking. And again, it is good and bad. Like some things I do regret growing up is because I was always thinking that I did hold back from some things, and maybe like hanging out with the mates, sort of letting go or really enjoying the moment rather than thinking, oh, should I jump off that rock in the water with the chance that I might crack my head like my parents have probably told me, and then I've got to go home. So I did like things like that. This is a small example, but I did hold back on things like that because I overthought. And then there was times where thinking about something obviously helped me from making a bad decision. So it's good and bad, and I still do that now. But from a very early age, it's probably hard, probably a little bit different to Luke. I knew what I wanted. I played footy growing up with the boys too. Had a little bit of potential, played a little bit of like representative footy. Would have loved, definitely had my goal as playing first grade. Definitely wanted to play first grade. Loved the breather.
Wow.
Difference between me and Luke is, probably wasn't as naturally talented.
If he put his drive and his training ethics and
either discipline and the drive and do everything right and put in the effort. My natural talent was probably nowhere near Luke and my other brother Paul. But I did love, and that was a goal growing up. I wanted to play first grade too, as all of us did. And as I got older, my personality or my shine, naturally a little bit shy, and again overthinking. I did hold back as I got to 18, 19 with the representative teams. I probably did what I had to do, but I wasn't hungry enough to stand up and say, no, that's mine, or sort of take it to the
make some noise.
Make some noise. I was waiting for someone to sort of push me through, and that was probably a little bit, I reckon, on our upbringing with our parents, sort of not sheltering us a little bit, but as we got older, we didn't have that my dad just get out there and do it. He's sort of like
my dad wouldn't hang out with the dads hang out with the dads of the coaches and they try and get in, go dinners together. My dad was not like that. He'd come to the game, sit in the far corner of the stadium and just watch the game by himself. So naturally we were like that with the footy teams.
Yeah, even like social, trying to really get into the team and socialise and mix in. We'd go to training, come home, go to footy, come home.
So basically, can I interpret what you're saying? There was a stage where politics, marketing, self-promotion, who that's where you feel like you didn't take advantage of
right.
it.
Yeah, there was no one
exactly.
fault.
Yeah.
That's my personality.
And did you see this before your eyes start to say, I just can't get it?
Wasn't natural. Yeah, I didn't have the confidence probably behind. I probably didn't have the natural confidence behind me to open up and.
Was league your I'm doing that and that's it?
That was there, but building. They'll laugh. My parents will say from a very young age, from a kid, I was carrying my dad's hammer, trying to jump in the car, go to work with him.
Wow.
So they were on par, but it was always footy first.
Because you could fall back on it.
And knowing that, if footy doesn't work out, I'm doing building. Or even if I was playing footy, I was studying building. So they were on par with each other.
So you were studying building while you were...
Yeah. And again, they were very, they were my passions from an early age. I never had a moment in life where I was with Luke, where I was growing up saying, what do I want to do? Or I don't know what I want to do. It was footy and building.
Wow.
As I got a little bit older, into sort of 18, 19, finished school, again, that extra drive that I needed to take footy to the next level, being the shyness and the insecurities, I didn't do that. But I was comfortable stepping back, knowing that my passion for building was just as strong. So I had direction. I knew where I wanted to go. So
was that through just naturally, or did your dad sway you, or
both my mum and dad encouraged us for whatever we did, and they gave us every opportunity to succeed in footy or whatever we were doing at the time.
Actually, how did you tell Dad?
And they would encourage us, but again, I think probably I sat down with him and I told him. I probably did cry too. I probably did have got a bit emotional. So look, I don't think this is for me. But I think he was more at ease, knowing that I was a bit more mature at my age than Luke, and I knew I had things that I wanted to do, and building was one of them. So I don't think he took it as hard, and maybe deep down he thought, because I wasn't as naturally talented as Luke and Paul, that he didn't have his hopes set on me or pushed me as much as he pushed them. But yeah, I think telling him was probably a little bit hard, but I think he probably knew, it wasn't in me.
Yeah.
It wasn't something I wanted to do as well. and I probably didn't lead him on as much as Paul and Luke did, and they probably told him what he wanted to hear, and whether genuinely they were deep down feeling that or not.
Was your father a league man?
Yeah, he played Newtown, like he played footy when he was young. Yeah.
Wait. Was your father born here?
Yeah, he's born here. Yeah, he was born.
Wow.
But that's another story totally together. But his parents didn't know he played.
Yeah, so he was typical Lebanese back.
That's what I was like that's what I was about to
say.
Aussie.
Like, he's very Aussie. Yeah.
Like
Westernized. Yeah.
You know. That's probably why you had the support. You were a league family.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. Like that's very unique. Especially in the Middle Eastern sort of culture.
Yes.
Because usually at the age of like 16 to 18, a lot of the migrant Middle Easterns would be saying to their kids, okay,
study.
Put this hobby that you have aside and let's get to the real world and let's start working.
Yeah, actually, we should have told you about that before we. Yeah, because now you
quite,
get a
quite
background of what it's like.
It was the opposite.
I grew up in in an era where a lot of my friends and the circle, a lot of immigrant parents, households, and sport was just a hobby and just fun. There was no career.
Yes.
There was no, take it serious, right?
Yeah.
It was almost like anyone that took it very serious was weird. Like, what are you talking about?
Down upon, I feel like a little bit.
Honestly, it was.
Wasn't professional.
Yeah, sorry. So that's why. That makes you understand a bit more
because
why.
From what I can hear, like you had amazing, like none of your decisions were forced in any way. Like your father and mother sort of encouraged you to live out what you guys enjoy.
Whatever we want to do, they want. Yeah, whatever we want to do,
they went off our feet. Like we want to do that, and they encouraged them. Like any parents, training, extra activity, whatever we had to do.
But that's not normal for your generation.
No, yeah, for now it is. For now generation.
Now, if I don't go to take my son for taekwondo, if the instructor picks up my son, I'm looked at like a pathetic dad.
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
You have to.
You gotta.
Like you speak to any father these days, they tell you their schedule after work. Like I've got swimming, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this.
But you're true. Back then,
no, he was. It was
for an ethnic background, it was very different. For an Australianized background, it was normal for him to do that.
Normal, support their kids and make their not in a rude way, but I feel like that just wasn't.
But you got to remember, my dad was 65 now. He was born 1959 and he was born in Australia.
Wow.
So a lot of he's been here for a long time. So for him, it was the norm in a way because he grew up around that norm. Where
maybe his parents.
No. If he
was the opposite.
He's
done what he's
if he hid playing football from his parents.
He hid it from his parents, yeah.
And it's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's like because it wasn't looked at like there was no career or life in sport, right? But these days, like it's different. So I guess you guys got to live
one generation earlier. How do you explain? Like one generation earlier than everyone else. Yeah,
okay, that's very interesting.
And moving to Menai is another thing.
Yeah.
He not rebelled. He did things probably not what he's probably against what his parents' tradition, what the tradition was. Moving away from.
We're not your traditional Lebanese people.
So he was very open to acclimatizing to Australia properly.
Yeah,
right. I think he loved it.
What do you mean? We grew up. You wouldn't believe it. We grew up at the age of 5, 6, 7, waking up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. My dad driving us to the sandhills at Cronulla. We do sandhills as a family.
What?
Like
training?
Training. Run up and the sandhills. You run up and down the sandhills.
Are you joking?
Yeah. And then after that, we would do nippers, which was like a how we would put it. It was like a life-saving kind of
swimming, running on the sand.
At the age of like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
I don't want to go.
Let me tell you something. If there was social media back then, your dad would have become a TikTok and Instagram superstar. Right? Because okay, let me tell you, there was probably an ulterior motive. He probably wanted to get you guys so tired that when you got home, you just slept, right? No, but wow.
Yeah,
what a brilliant father.
Very different. He played touch footy and that during the week. We played touch footy with him as young kids, like 10, 12 years old. We played in the same team as him. He's not... Yeah, when I say he's a Lebanese dad, he's not what you guys think. He's not. He's like us 30 years ago.
Wow.
Way ahead of his time. So
okay, look, guys, see now the puzzle.
Now do you understand it now?
I'm really starting to piece the puzzle. And let me tell you another thing. Like sometimes, it's hard to become, like say for example, you look at some of these superstars, and then you always hear their background story, and you hear they started at the age of 5 doing something, or being around the sport, or being around the trade, or being like that stuff is so valuable to success. Yeah, it's like immeasurable. Do you know what I mean? Like when you talk about passion, you're not talking shit. Yeah. Right. Talking about experience and being exposed to something. You're not talking shit. Like the generic people that say I'm passionate in. Yeah. There's you guys are athletic, tradie family. Like
you've been around it. You've been around it. Yeah.
Right. Like it's.
We just didn't pick it up at the age of 18.
It's your DNA. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you get to that fork in the road moment. You say I'm going to building.
Yeah, well,
we knew.
Or did you say I'm studying?
So I left school. So I finished the HSC. Played a little bit of junior reps. Got an opportunity with my older brother. Went to so I left school. Left school. Enrolled in TAFE straight away for the following year for building project management, and worked with my dad that first year out of school. Worked with him and my older brother on one of his jobs, and then we got an opportunity to still play footy up in Newcastle. So I went up there towards the end of that year, I think. And so I'd already kickstarted building, and footy, I didn't make the local, I think it was St. George at the time, the next sort of milestone. I didn't make that team. So when the opportunity came to go to Newcastle, I was excited to give it a crack. Was I confident? No, going up to Newcastle, didn't know anyone. Paul was up there too, but same thing, wasn't. We weren't sort of naturally just go up there and grab it, it was just, would go to training, come back. So did that, but if they put probably more faith in me and pushed me along, I probably would have stayed and tried a bit more, but I had a few trials, didn't make the side at the time. So I just decided I'll come back, and I told my dad and my parents, and they were happy. Not happy, they understood, and I said, I want to continue building. And there wasn't the fork probably wasn't as harsh.
It felt like it was just a detour.
I'm not going to lie, it wasn't. Yeah.
But did you know? Okay, I'm going to go work with my dad, or did you?
Well, this is the thing. So up until from say 12, 13 up till 17, 18, my dad had his own building company. It was quite successful for himself, and he had built it up. And as Luke mentioned, I think in 2008, the year I left school and started working with him, I think the GFC had hit overseas, or sort of hit the world, and he was in the middle of building a development with a partner, and sale prices dropped dramatically. Similar to COVID. Well, COVID probably went the opposite, but market prices dropped. Invested a lot of money and took a real hit that year, and a few other things and a few jobs. It was a bad 12 months. So he had got to a point in his life at that stage where he was a little bit successful. Obviously, took a big hit. Was over the industry at the time.
Started traveling.
Stopped building. Didn't take any more jobs. Took us, let his staff go. Tidied up what he had to tie up, and had a break. Went overseas. Travelled for a few years for a month at a time with my mum, and that was the time that I was looking to get in. Dad, I want to take over. I'm here. I'm ready. Yeah. Give me the business, or let me learn, and eventually, hopefully, be able to take over. In hindsight, it all happens for a reason. So he had pretty much shut up shop. So it was forced me to get a job, work for someone else. So again, I'm still very good mates with the gentleman, with Ellie, a friend of mine that got me a job with a construction company that he was working for. And I did my sort of apprenticeship under them, and did it was more of an office-based role, did estimating as a junior. And the knowledge that I gained at those first couple of years was, I had the hands-on experience from my dad growing up. Sorry, so when I came back from Newcastle, and my dad had obviously scaled back work, he didn't have work. My dad goes, well, what are you going to do, building? I said, I'll do building. So me and Paul, he goes, well, okay, well, until you find a job, just go do anything. He goes, go to Centrelink. I go, what do you mean Centrelink? He goes, go to Centrelink, put your name down, and they'll ring you for a job. So me and my brother, I'm 18, 19, Paul's 20, 21. Didn't know what to do. Rocked up to Centrelink at Hurstville, I think, and we're here to put our names down apply for a job, looking for a job. she goes, go upstairs. We hop in the lift. As we hop in the lift, there's a gentleman in there, and we just started talking. He's like, what are you guys here for? And said, we're just here to put our name down for some work. We've just come back from Newcastle. We were playing footy. We're going to try and get some work. I own a landscape grass cutting business. I'm actually coming in to see if I can find anyone. 2 minutes later, by the time we got out of the lift, we had shook hands, agreed on a rate. We didn't even know what the rate was back then. Start tomorrow, meet me at start cutting grass. So we didn't even get to the top of the line.
That one, right?
And I think he was just happy that we
too young.
We were too young guys.
Fit
guys.
We
had a car license, like just the basic.
Mate,
he was like,
he's like, bang. So the next day, bang, we got.
I was laughing at him when they told me that.
Never
I was
cut
like,
grass before buying. My dad's Lebanese, but the only thing about Lebanese, the Lebanese culture is he had concrete everywhere in our backyard.
Absolutely.
So we hadn't cut any grass. So he's like, come here. So we did that for about 3-4 months, and it was only a short-term thing, but it obviously got us to make a bit of money, got us up early, cutting grass, turned my brother off doing that and sent him back to playing footy, which was a good thing back then.
Yeah.
He didn't so got him back to playing footy. And I just through a friend of my dad's, just they were looking for a junior in construction, and went and got an interview, and he was a Mad Dragon supporter. And we started talking about footy, and obviously that I had just been, I was playing footy and stuff. And the interview wasn't about building, it was more about footy. And then he's like, come in tomorrow and start. And then that's how I got into my first job as a junior in estimating. And learned. So again, in the back of my mind, I wanted to work similar to Luke, work for myself. But I knew I had to learn. Like, I wasn't going to be able to learn from my dad in those years. Although I learned a lot growing up in school holidays and stuff, I needed to get some something under my belt.
Earn your stripes.
Yeah, so honestly, it's the best thing I did, and I'll be forever grateful for the guys that I worked for those couple of years. And after a couple of years, I probably left a little bit early, but I said to him, I'm going on my own after maybe 3 or 4 years, I can't remember. And that was it.
Oh, he's always been ahead of his time. Always.
I've always known what I wanted to do. And Huss, as my best mate growing up since I think we met in year 7, he was always not sure what he wanted to do. And we'd have those conversations, and I was just like, I didn't understand what he was sort of going through, and even probably Luke and Paul, because I knew what I wanted from a very young age. So I tried to relate to him, but I couldn't. And I see now, I can only imagine what it's like if you don't have direction or you don't know what to do. It is tough to work out.
Very tough, absolutely.
But so mine was a little bit different. Had ups and downs, but not.
We always
my life wasn't as an entertaining
as a brother. I knew from day one he was going to be. He was going to be. You just knew everything we did. He was good at. He knew what he wanted to do in building. So, yeah.
So tell me right now. So you're now, a year and a little bit now.
Yeah.
Right. Smashing records are far greater than what you expected. Knock on wood, the name is starting to penetrate the market really, really well. How do you guys walk me through a day in the life of what you guys do? I probably maybe mistakenly, but group you guys together as the back end. You make things happen.
Yeah.
After the front end is done, being the walking the customer through the project, etc., getting the deal over the line. Then it comes down to the Karam boys.
Yeah, that's what.
Right.
Yeah. So Huss will obviously get the lead. He'll get it all, and then as soon as it's signed and done. Well, Nathan's a bit more in between, so
I'm sort of the transition
between it from getting You explain what you go. Explain.
So walk me through. So example, Hassan closes a deal, comes through to now.
No, he's more in the middle before that too.
Okay. He works with you.
I work with him. Obviously, the pricing. So because I've got the estimating background, so Hassan or Josh, whoever gets the leads, will visit, inspect the site, visit the, talk to the client or the agent, or whatever, get the scope of works, and come back to the office, and I'll have a discussion with them based on what they've seen and what the scope of works, and I'll put some figures to the scope of works, And so that's where I sort of get involved early on, giving them an estimate or a price for the work that we need to do. And then the sort of get handed back to them to sort of close the deal. And then once the clients accepted our proposal, then I'm sort of back into it where whether it's organising contracts, a lot of the admin contracts, insurances or contractors and stuff like that, and then liaising with the client or the agent to sort of get keys and execute the job. And so I start there and then pretty much prepare the job and hand it to Luke. So when he gets to the job, he knows clearly what needs to be done and he'll do the day-to-day stuff, you know.
Yeah, so
getting a little bit dirty. Doesn't like it, but he's getting a little bit dirty.
Once he gets it, pretty much the jobs, I'll run the job. Or with him, I'll still run it together because we're brothers, we still speak to each other every day. It's easier to do. But yeah, he'll give me the scope of works. This is what needs to be done. I'll organise the trades. I'll pretty much be on site, physical work, pretty much most of the days now because we just started. But we're obviously looking to branch out and get some workers on site for us to help us out. But at the moment now, I'll be on site. So if the carpet needs to be ripped up, I'll be ripping it up myself. So I'm the owner of the company is ripping up your carpet in your house. So I can't.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'll do that. And like I said, we still got my dad. So my dad still works every day with us.
Wow.
Tables are turned a bit now because we're his boss.
Wow.
And he's working. But he's. If you ever meet my dad one day, you'll see. You understand why he's not a typical dad. Mm-hmm. Like, so he'll come to site with us. He'll help me rip the carpet out. He'll jackhammer the floors. He's an electrician by trade, so he'll do all our electrical work for us as well while we're there. And then we pretty much, I'll liaison with the client to make sure they're happy with what we're doing, the progress we're going. I'll send them updates of photos or messages of what's happening through their job. And then, me and Nathan kind of talk to the agent to make sure it's ready on time for him. And that's pretty much it. So the back end construction side of things is pretty much me. Nathan's between half and half. So he'll be with Haas and then he'll be with me working out between the client and the finished product.
You guys on a string, like great sort of flow to get the job done. But you're on tell me about speed. Like traditionally trades, I believe, not that it's long-winded, the process seems very long-winded and things seem to take a while. Logistically coordinating trades to work together, to get deadlines done, all of that sort of stuff. It seems long-winded. How do you guys master the speed?
Well, you can't, same thing, not trying to big note what we do. You can't just be who we are. Like you can't just be any Joe Blow and go renovate a house and try to do it at the speed that we do. We've just talked from 5 years of age being around building and watching our dad build and doing it ourselves. It comes from experience. And it also comes from our trades that we use. We use the same trades all the time. So we don't try to undercut our trades. We don't chop and change trades just because someone's cheaper or whatever. We use the same trades because they know how we work.
They're reliable, their workmanship, all of that.
So the good thing about RenoSell is most jobs are the same. So most jobs involve your painting, your flooring, your electrical, your landscaping, and your handyman work. We've pretty much got it down pat now where we know stages where to get them in now. And our trades that we use or whoever we use, because we use them so regular now, if we tell them we need you tomorrow, they'll come tomorrow.
But what was it in you guys that said speed? Like let me give an example. So you can say a reno might take 1 month to be safe.
But why?
Like let's be a little bit safe, and say, okay, Mr. Customer, okay, Mr. Real Estate Agent, to get this up to scratch is going to take 3 to 4 weeks, right? What makes you go in and say, no problem, 7 days, I'll have it all, 10 days, all delivered?
I think for us to get into this market, the niche market of the real estate and preparing properties for sale, we need that advantage. If we're going to tell someone, we can fix up your house or tidy it up or give it a facelift before you put it on the market, it's going to take you 3 months. They're going to say, I don't want to wait 3 months. I want to put it on. Like I'm ready. My agent's telling me I need to capitalize now. The market's hot. It's this. I've got buyers. Like we're going to lose a lot of work like that. So we said to ourselves, if we want to hit this market, speed needs to be one of our one of our strengths
that we do.
Because we get calls all the time. Can you do it next week? Like we need it done ASAP. It's going on it's going on the market. It's going on the market. We need it. It's just the nature of that industry. And if we can't keep up with
you made sure you can facilitate
if we
that.
Can't do of course. We cannot match that or we can't keep up with our clients, whether it's the agent or a mum and dad trying to sell their home, if we can't keep up with that tempo or be able to get their jobs up to scratch at a fast speed, we're going to
lose them. Yeah, it's like us with you. If I said to you, get me a design for anything, a brochure, whatever, or get me a design for this, and you keep saying, it's 4 to 6 weeks. What separates you from me going to someone else? They're going to be the same 4 to 4 weeks to do whatever. There's a point of difference. We need to be that point of difference to just anyone doing it themselves. Anyone can do it themselves in 4 weeks. We can do it in 2. We can do it in 10 days. And then they go, okay, well then that's the difference between us and just your regular renovating company.
So that's number one, the speed. You mind boggle me with just
no lunch breaks.
That's what it seems like. It seems like you're building 24 hours for the 10 days and you're getting it up to scratch, and you're working for some TV show that needs to meet some deadline.
Make a TV show for some, one day. I'll be all right.
Yeah, probably. I guarantee your door will be knocked on very soon. But that mind boggles me. But then the second part that really sort of triggers, so you're about to sell, right? RenoSell gets involved. Now your ability to understand and see, now it's starting to make a lot more sense. So the estimation experience that you've had, how to estimate what jobs are worth, but that in itself is very tricky too, because there's a fine line between renovating and over investing, overcapitalizing, and then undercapitalizing. How do you get that fine line? So example, when you're doing a bathroom, going that little bit extra, or going or not doing not doing it, or skipping it, or is it one of those things where have you had a personal experience, or have you had what led you to say, okay, cool, this is how we'll go about it. Your bathrooms are going to be sprayed, or you don't need X, we just need Y. We don't need full landscaping. All we really need to do is remove those trees, and now it opens up. How does your eyes work? You get what I'm saying?
It's experience.
How do you explain that? You can't explain that.
Man, because in my head, it's I've seen a lot of your before and after. So for anyone watching, please follow their social media. You'll see some of the before and afters. It will absolutely mind F you. You know what I mean? How you night, it's night and day. The renovation is it's not a subtle renovation, but I feel it's always it's in budget.
Well, we're always trying to find ways to be creative, or to present it well, but be cost effective.
I see renovation price, and then I see the outcome. I'm no, really? Is that how cheap it was?
We can be those. We can be those guys who turn your house into the most luxury house on the street. But is it going to get you more amount? It'll get you more amount. But is the ratio from renovating and not renovating and spending too much money? Is it worth it? And
the ratio.
Ratio. It's
well done. Because that's a skill in itself. So you've got speed, because
it all combines.
You're right, but it's just like I said, it's the difficulty dealing with so many trades. And lining them up on time, and each person needs to do their job so you can meet their deadline. And reliability, all of that sort of stuff plays a massive factor.
But it's experience. It's going into a home, looking at the area, looking at the people themselves as well, the people they are, and the agent, and saying and telling them what you think they should do to the home to get it to a state where they're going to, like I said, the ratio from how much they spend to what they're going to get is good, is always great. So it's just knowing them, it's experience, it's knowing the people and knowing the area, knowing the building industry.
The boys will probably tell you too. They get clients all the time giving them, I want to do X, Y, Z. I want to do this. And we can do it. It's more money in our pocket, or the value of the project's going to be greater. But the boys are very honest. They will say to them that they're great ideas, guys, but your return on investment, it just doesn't make sense.
We're going to be there longer. We're going to be there longer.
We actually pull clients back. We'll pull clients back just to again, to have their best interests at heart.
You're true to the integrity of the business.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? To maximize the sale of their property.
That's it.
And we look at it, again, we don't have the emotional connection as well, where it's not our home or it's not our, or we're dealing with a lot of deceased estates as well. They've become very common where kids inherit their parents' property, and there's a lot of sentimental attachment to the place. We've got to be careful. We've got to be careful how we approach it. And the boys do a great job, the front line, because we don't want to neglect or downplay the property or say it's not worth doing X, Y, Z. They do it in a great way, but we just want to present it in a way that that looks neat to the people, and we're going to give you put as much money as we can back in your pocket and still make your property presentable, because there was a job, for example, where the parents, the kids had come in and they were devastated. I don't want to bring the story down, but they were devastated at the condition of the property, and they kept saying, but we grew up and it was this. And so our fulfillment, we were fulfilled by turning it from what it was, just being neglected over the years. The parents got sick and they were elderly. Just tidying it up for them was enough they were embarrassed to put it on the market to show people their family home. So they wanted us to just tidy it up, and it's rewarding. Look, for me, it's rewarding.
See, it must sound corny, but you guys,
there's a story to a lot of our
you're
properties.
You're so modest because you call it tidying it up, right? But it's a fucking reno. Yeah. It's a night. I see the before and after videos. I see the outcome. It is. Like I said, you put your price tag on it and you say, no way in that budget, you did that. And I feel like, your eye in understanding to maximize value and knowing where to put the money is absolutely phenomenal. Well done on that. And then third part, the concept of the business is renovate now and then pay later.
That's our biggest thing. Yeah.
That is another, such an amazing thing. The whole loop, the 360 experience is phenomenal. So hats off to you guys. I really now see it's joined a lot more puzzles why the success is happening. It's not okay, cool. A couple of builders team up with a couple of guys that had real estate experience and okay. Now, no, you can see that there was a lot of things in the making to get it to where it is right now. Now, I want to ask you, I want to know, so Luke, I want to know your favorite project. Ooh. In a nutshell, frame it in a way where you can give me why it was your favorite. Why did it become close to your heart? Give me a rundown on that favorite project. And then Nathan, I want to know a really tripped out project.
Oh, good.
They're all tripped out.
Okay.
You go first.
For me, would have to be Louise's job.
That's up to your experience.
Yeah, we had a client at what was the area exactly? Little Bay. We were working across the road from her, and backstory. I don't want to say too much about backstory, but she, obviously broke up from her husband. The house was half renovated, hadn't been finished. And she was ready to put on the market how it was. She had no money whatsoever. We were working across the road, and she saw the van. The van had renovated, now pay later. And she just came across the road to me and said, that seems to be a little bit good to be true. What is this? What is it? I said, no, let me see. I'll run you through. I went into her house, and I sat down with her. I just said, basically, this is what we do. We can finish your home for you, renovate it, and just pay us when you settle. And she was stunned, I just said something out of this world to her. She's like, "What? You do all my renovations for me, everything I've got in my house. I don't pay you nothing, and you'll take the money. Once I sell, you take the money out." I said, "Yeah." I said, "But that's our company. That's what we do." She's like, "Where have you guys been?" I might have bullshitted to her and said, "Oh, we've been around for a while now." But no. I said, "No, that's what we do." And she was just over the moon, smile from ear to ear. After that, she was like, "Okay, perfect." She's like, can I take you through the whole house?" So her house was a very beautiful house too. So it was in Little Bay, obviously nice area. I think the agent valued it at about 3.3 3.4 million at the time.
Wow.
So it was in a nice area. So we're not talking about it was a nice area. So about 3.3 to 3.4. I walked through the whole house with her and she told me all the things she wanted to do. And I said to her roughly, I said, kind of cost you about 120, 125 grand. She's like, really? She's like, yeah. And she's like, oh, like turnaround time. And I looked at her and I said, I'll give it to you in 4 weeks' time. She was blown, by the way. She's like, really? I said, yeah.
For that type of scale of renovation.
A double-story home. It was a lot of work. It wasn't like your normal, typical 20, 30 grand job. So it was a lot of work. And she was over the moon. And she rang the agent on the spot then, blah, blah. And she said, you know, I've got these guys here, they can do this and this. He couldn't believe it. He's like, who are they? What's going on? And then he's like, if you can do that, awesome. I said, well, listen, let me go through the process and I'll get you the quote. I'll get a quote out to you. We'll do it all properly. Anyways, gave her the quote. She signed straight away. We done a job for her. It was a 125 grand job. She was over the moon. I had her mum, her sisters all thanking me, hugging me on the day of the auction.
Wow.
Sold it for $4.4 million. It was in the newspaper. It was on the news.
What?
She made, was it, an extra 800 grand just from spending an extra 100 grand. They're the rare, like obviously that's a rare one. Like it's obviously one every 10 or one every 20 we do. But for me, still to this day, it was sentimental because
Mate, I've got goosebumps.
Seeing her, first of all, when I told her what we did, and then come auction day, her whole family, her mum was like crying to me saying, thank you. Like, we didn't know what to do. I was going to go get a loan from the bank. The bank wouldn't give me money. We didn't know what we were going to do, blah, blah. That, to me, still to the day, that was a special relationship I had with her. She was so friendly. We would speak it all the time. We saw that everything together. It was just, that job to me, still to this day, was probably one of the best because just a situation that she was in and we got her out of it and still to this day she comments on Instagram.
It made what you do so much more fulfilling.
I love my job, man. Like that to me, I don't care about profit, but that to me was so much more. Just helping that family.
Wow.
Made it. And that's what's good about it.
And can I just say, it put your brand and your concept to the test.
Yeah.
Right?
That was one of our first big ones actually.
Because you're saying to customer, okay, look, you do this, you're going to increase in value, right? This one validated your business concept. Then there's an emotional attachment to it. This lady, just timing wise, you're across the road. She was probably at a low point, right, of her life. She's walked across the road just to see if this too good to be true signage you've got on the side of a van is true. Like she took that quick.
It was fate. It was fate that she walked out. It was fate that we had that job. It just worked out and it just kickstarted us too as well. Like it needed to be done. I think it was just fate that she was there.
Wow, love that, man. Yeah. That's fantastic. All right, so tell me. Okay, all right. So Nathan, so give me the most tripped out. So what I mean by tripped out, okay, like situation where you go in and you got a lot of experience, right? But something where it's like, what's this? Or it might be condition of the home. It might be, I don't know what it is, but give me something that, the audience will sort of be quite entertained.
I don't know if the boys touched on it, I don't know, in the first podcast, but
actually might have, yeah.
Honestly, most of the jobs have a story or I do get blown up or there is something new or, something about that job, but
sticks in our head. This one, yeah.
Like hands down, the first job, the first phone call we got, I'll never forget. And
legit. I mean, we're not lying here. The first phone call.
February last
year. First phone call.
February last year. I can't remember.
All right.
Legit first phone call. We're not lying here. This is legit.
We get called to a property. A friend of ours, a real estate agent, selling a property in Padstow, and he's like, "Look, we've got an open home on Saturday. There's a water stain in this living room ceiling. We just need it patched up and painted before Saturday." And he called us probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
Oh, jeez.
I said, "Look, if it's that, we'll come past, have a look. If it's something simple, we'll get it sorted."
I think it was landscape, a little bit landscape too. Cut the grass.
So we'll have a look at it. Thought it was going to be a half an hour job or, a bit of touch up and we'll be out of there. The owner was a little bit reserved, didn't say too much. And I said, look, looks to me, based on my experience, that there's some type of water leak or something leaking from upstairs. I'll give you a price to cut a hole in the gyprock, repatch it and paint it, ready for the open. Yep, no worries. Send him a price. It was worth
Nothing.
$500. I don't even know what it was. I had to get the gyprocker there to patch it, and we're going to paint it because we thought we'll do it ourselves. It was just only a small job. Got there the first day.
As you were cutting,
Luke came with me.
I was cutting the grass. I think Huss came too. So all three of us. Our first job.
That's exciting.
Josh was training. He would have been.
No, he was in Queensland. He was in Queensland because of COVID.
Or was he training? Might have been. Anyway, Josh wasn't around. He was. So three of us go down there. They're cutting the grass outside. I stand on the ladder inside. Start cutting. As I start cutting,
cutting the gyprock.
Cutting the gyprock.
Sealing. Okay.
Sealing in the living room. Yeah.
Put some drop sheets out. As I start cutting, like this liquid starts dripping down, like oozing out of the hole, running down my saw, the gyprock saw.
Like water?
Like thicker than water, like a syrup.
A syrup.
Anyway, I keep cutting. I cut the hole quickly, about that big, and just starts gushing out. And I'm thinking, okay, boys, and I start yelling.
He starts yelling. I've tripped out. I thought he hit something.
And the guy's sitting on his couch and
with the scotch next to him.
And with the scotch next to him was a bit of a drink actually.
Yeah, he was a bit of.
And I'm not telling the fib. Yeah. And then so I've tried to hold the gyprock up, and this liquid just starts oozing down. I'm like, fuck, this is something. I don't know what it is, but.
It's coming.
So they've come back in. I said, get me a sheet or something. They've put something around underneath me. I've pulled the gyprock down. Never seen anything like it. Never experienced anything. Honey. It was just honey in the ceiling.
Honey.
And it wasn't just like honey. It was.
Fuck. I'm talking about kilos.
Wedged between the floor joists. The timbers are probably 450 apart. It was wedged, and you couldn't stop it. You couldn't clean it. It was just ooze dripping. So we push dripping and. Like, what have we got ourselves into?
Tell me, it was like a bee. It was like
long story short, it was bees had gotten into the home through the cavity or something, and they were just breeding breeding and producing honey in the floor.
Wow.
And we didn't know what to do. Had never experienced anything like it. We've cut his ceiling. The 2 days later was supposed to be the open. So I said, let's just try and contain the mess. First thing, gut instinct was ring a pest control. We rang a few pest control. No, we don't do bees. We don't. No, we'll spray them. We'll spray like there was no bees flying around or active or anything, which was good. Like we'll spray and kill. I said, no, it's not that. Like there's honey in the ceiling. There's mess everywhere. We'll clean it up.
Oh my God! I was about to ask you. Do you have like? Is there a? I wish that was recorded. Was it? Did you record?
It wasn't a little bit here and there.
You got photos, yeah?
Yeah, we got photos.
Okay, we're gonna pull this up on the podcast.
Yeah, put up on the podcast.
Anyway, so I started cutting I thought, cut the gyprock, try and work. We ended up cutting a big section. It was just more and more. There was just more.
Wow.
Cut it, and I'm just like.
And we quoted $500, by the way.
What are we gonna do? Like, what do we do here? I don't even. The guy, no one wanted to come. No, we had another job to go to. It was like just middle of the day. We weren't supposed to be there for long. Cancelled everything, told the owner what had happened. He had sort of had an idea because he had the place sprayed previously, so he probably wasn't surprised.
Let's just say he knew what was there.
He wasn't shocked.
He was not shocked whatsoever.
We're like, sorry, but we don't, like, this is not what we allowed. This is not part of our scope, blah, blah, blah. And he was sort of, look, I need to get it fixed. No one wanted to come. I think I sent you to Bunnings to get some
tools. We didn't know what to do. I had to get tools.
When I got overalls, some tools, some
well, look, you definitely don't learn this in TAFE, do you?
That's what I'm saying. It was bleach. I think someone said chlorine. Got chlorine or something.
We're Googling what to do. Anyway, it's long, like...
That was one of the trippiest.
Credit, like,
we did it,
we could have walked away. Honestly, we could have just said, sorry, that's not, like, just left it.
It's not our job, yeah.
But it wasn't in our, like, we couldn't. It wasn't in our heart. So he went and got...
Anyway, we scraped it, cleaned it, had it ready for open house, painted by Saturday. We still did it that week.
All right, so let me tell you.
We rang Josh. The guy couldn't believe it. Like, he's like, no way. I said, bro, look at the face. This is like... So you couldn't, again, it's just adds to our story.
Like to kickstart Renault Cell.
That was ridiculous.
For that to be your first project.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Honestly,
that's what I'm saying to you. Everything's fallen into places and we have stories and everything. That was our first ever phone call.
Yeah, there's a funny energy.
And we go around and the words get, and then, again, don't want to bore you, but the second job we got was another beach. I got
because she heard, yeah.
I got bees in my water.
I heard you do bee. I heard you do
the bee
remove bee guy.
Huss rings me, goes, you're not going to believe it. And I didn't guess. He's like, you're not going to believe it. You're not. And I didn't know what he's like. they got B. They called me the B guy. Like they rang me and said, "Are you the B guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Hey, we did a job. We went and did a job for. We did that job
So it's actually not as uncommon as we think.
Yeah,
right?
no.
Wow.
Since those 2 jobs, we haven't had.
No, we haven't had one there. But that was good. We did it. We ended up doing the job there, and we got more from it. Ended up selling, so it was good. Yeah.
So it's a story. Yeah, it was a good story. It's a good first job, and we'll remember it for a long time.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, guys, like, you know, the energy, the way things are moving, falling into place, honestly, and now I've got the pleasure of interviewing all of you guys. You all are genuinely amazing people.
Thank you.
And the success is definitely deserved. I feel like you know, a lot of people will I hope they've got the opportunity to understand the people behind the brand. I think that's so important. Your life, your journey, you shared a lot of really good moments with our audience.
I reckon I could say on behalf of the boys that we could not have been where we are without you guys, AiiMS as
Oh,
well.
no,
We need to pump you guys, but I'm just saying we wouldn't be where we are without you guys.
It's an absolute pleasure. And look, I said it in the last podcast, and when Huss came the first time, it was like, wow, what a concept.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as it sounds and all of that sort of stuff, and it's a no-brainer. And you know, there's real people that have amazing experience for it to actually come to life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It wasn't something people missed.
No.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So well done. Look, all right, you guys are league fans, okay? Now I need to get some. So you're obviously sort of NRL junkies, right? So tell me, who's gonna win? Who are you predicting to win the grand final?
Definitely not West Tigers.
I'm a West Tigers man, so yeah, unfortunately it won't be them.
No, I think it'll be the same again. I think
With Josh at South?
Yeah, with Josh. I would love to see
got
South.
a back
I would love to see South there. I think South's got a good chance to get there.
Are you being biased?
A little bit.
To be honest with you, I don't think South will get there. I don't think we have the experience in the team at the moment. I think it'll be between same again your Penrith and your Melbourne. But I think, mark my words, I think maybe Sharks.
Sharks.
I think Sharks.
Why is that your dark horse?
My big dark. The way they're playing lately, I think big test this week. They're playing Penrith. I think that's gonna. Sorry, Melbourne. They're playing Melbourne this week. I think that's the biggest. If they beat Melbourne, I think they've got a long way. They're going to make it.
All right.
Begin into yeah.
Okay. So that okay. Wait, before we get there, mate. Sorry. Okay. So who did you used to go for growing up?
Oh, do we have to explain the way we did it? So we all went for St. George. We're all Saints fans.
Because of the Menai thing.
Because the men, I think, we're next to St. George. So
Okay.
we're at St. George.
All right.
My mum and my mum's side, my uncles always went for South. So we went for St. George in a way, but we always went for South. But then when we got older, it was more South. South got kicked out of the comp, I think 2000.
I can't remember
what year it was, 99. South got kicked out of the comp. And then that's when my dad said, okay, like, pick a new team now. So there was Saints was always there, but South was the main one. And I think Dad said, let's pick a team, or we just said who we're going to go for. I think at the time, I don't know why you went for Tigers.
I can't remember exactly why, but I sort of went, I think West Tigers had just merged as well. And I can't remember why, but I just
why did you Tigers? I never asked you that. Yeah.
I just navigated to West Tigers.
And then I went to St. George. Trent Barrett, all those footy players, loved them play. So I went to St. George, and then I stayed with St. George. But then when South came back in, I went straight back to South again, and he ended up just staying with Tigers the whole time.
I got a soft spot
for South,
but Tigers are my team. But it's hard to.
I don't know how you support them now.
Yeah, you love the game so much. You're loving more than one team.
I have a soft spot for. Who do you go for? Bulldogs.
Doggies.
Oh, we're sponsoring them this week, actually, the Bulldog Doggies. Yeah, Friday game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Well, look, I was born in Canterbury Hospital.
Nice.
Grew up in Belmore.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, the local newspaper, The Torch, used to give free tickets. And before they gave free tickets, we used to try to sneak into the Belmore Sports Ground. They used to have like a little opening in the barbed wire. We used to crawl through a few of the boys. And then when the Torch started giving free tickets, we didn't have to do anything illegal. So that was a good thing. So guys, I've got one more game.
Yep.
All right. I really want to do. So, and it's I'm gonna get Shantae to come in and play this game. It's called This or That. We've prepared a couple of things for you guys.
God.
So give us a second.
Hi guys, I'm here with the boys at Renaissance and we're going to play a few games to get to know the Karam Brothers. So to begin with, we're going to play a this or that. So who's more likely to... Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Who's most likely to show up to work late?
That's JP's fault and Layla.
Who's most likely to blow the budget?
It's easy.
I don't think there's
Okay. Who was Mama's boy?
Ooh. Who was and who is?
Who was Mama's boy? Still is.
Well, I don't know.
Why?
I feel like she's got a soft
You're
spot.
the-
Now, I reckon you was.
I feel like you're the golden child.
Yeah, he is the golden
Well,
child.
How do you say no?
But I don't get treated any better. He gets treated better than I do.
Because I do
His
things
mama's
that-
boy, yeah, he
He was
gets
the youngest.
yeah, I reckon.
Who got the most in trouble at school?
Oh my God, Shantae.
For what?
You know what?
Everything,
Talking.
anything and everything. Talking.
Alright, who's most likely to get injured on site?
Oh, you can tell by my thumb. I
He's
cut
got
my
a lot-
thumb with a chainsaw.
What else? There was something else.
Oh,
He's always done.
I'm always
does
injured. It doesn't
something.
matter.
Yeah. Okay. Who gets the most easily frustrated?
Oh, definitely this guy.
Yeah?
Definitely. Can you tell with the grey hairs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't take.
Who frustrates
Oh.
you the most? Is it the client? Is it...
He gets frustrated at anyone. Ask Chanel, ring Chanel up. She'll tell you.
Not so much the clients, probably
Me and Josh and Huss.
yeah, no. Just if I like
And
things to be
Dad.
done a certain
And
way.
Dad.
I'm very
Have you
fussy.
ever shed a few tears?
Not tears,
Not
but we get
tears,
angry at each
swear
other.
words.
That's fine.
Swear
Yeah.
words.
Not tears, swear words.
Okay. Who will chuck a sickie more often?
Oh. But I don't do I chuck him more stickies? Not really.
No, but you. If he doesn't have to work, he won't work. If it's raining and whatever, and he can't work, I'm going home.
Yeah,
Like,
that's it. Yeah.
With the king.
Exactly.
Yeah.
whatever.
Who's the biggest flirt? With who? Real estate agents, clients?
Oh, in Renaissance, I don't see anyone.
JC,
No,
he's not a
JC.
flirt.
No, I don't see.
He's very friendly to any female.
I don't see anyone anyway. I'm always on the tools. So back in the days.
Back in the day.
Back in the
Yeah,
days.
Luke's definitely Luke.
Who's had the more girlfriends?
Oh no! Hold on a sec.
Girlfriends? No, I haven't had girlfriends. Now or before we're married or after?
All right, I'll say me.
Nah,
I'll
probably
say
Luke.
me.
Luke.
Back in the
Not
day.
many, but not many.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's had the most?
I love Josie so much.
Aww.
Yeah.
Who had the most boyfriends?
Oh. Well, he had Huss. He had Huss to do. I had
Huss is
Stevie,
probably
but
the closest, yeah.
Alright. Who's the brain and who's the brawn?
Oh, that's Brain and that's Braun.
Yeah, I think-
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone knows that.
But I can match him for.
Oh, please. He came to work the other day and he lifted one carpet and pulled his back out. It was out for 4 days. He can't do it. No, sorry.
Alright. Who argues the most at work?
Ooh.
Let's start off. Who argues the most with each other?
So he argues the most.
I'll probably,
Yeah, he argues the most, but I feel like I make him argue the most.
Yeah, he
Does that make
forces
sense?
me to.
Yeah.
He's the instigator.
Yeah.
Instigator, and I'm the probably.
Is there one for my dad? I should have my dad. There should have been one
Yeah.
for my dad because he starts a lot.
Alright. Who is most likely to forget there was a meeting?
Oh, that's definitely me. Yeah, definitely.
Show up late to a meeting?
Yeah, but in my defense, I'm more on site, so it's very hard for me to get to meetings
Yeah.
on time.
You're not in the
Where he's in the office all the
Yeah.
time, so that's easier for him. Yeah,
Got it.
got it.
Who's most likely to get drunk at the Christmas party?
Nathan, definitely.
Well, he let me down. He let us down at the AiiMS Christmas party.
Yeah, so I was like him.
I had to have a few.
He has a few scotches when he scotches when he gets home too, so I'm a bit worried about him.
But
Like,
you're not a drinker.
but when he does drink, ooh,
casual.
you watch out.
Casual drink.
Watch
Lightweight.
Lightweight.
Definitely lightweight.
Very light.
Who
We're
knows
going to be
Renaissance?
playing Guess the Answer. Let's see who knows Renaissance the best, Luke or Nathan. So, what year was Renaissance established?
2020.
2019.
2020.
Ooh, yeah, we registered in 2020.
And that. Oh yeah. What are we now?
22.
Oh, 20. Yeah. He's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 point for Luke.
Yes.
What was the first project Renaissance completed?
The beehives in Padstow.
Yes,
Yeah, he got that one. Yeah.
Who was the first real estate Renaissance partnered with?
Ooh, Matt LaFace.
Nathan?
Badger Fox.
Yes.
Ah,
Badger
Renaissance
Fox.
Company. Ah.
All right. What did the Little Bay project sell for?
4.4 million.
4.4.
Are you
4 million. 4 million.
No.
I'm saying 4.
Right.
Oh.
I'm saying 4.
4.4.
Yeah.
Oh, he was right.
What was the score of the first NRL game Renaissance was featured in?
Ooh, Roosters versus South, 26-12.
28-12.
28-16.
Oh!
All right, and the last one. List 3 things Renaissance did at the Bradbury project.
Bathroom renovation.
Flooring,
Renovation,
painting, electrical, yeah.
How well does Nathan know Luke from Renaissance? So, Nathan, when is Luke's birthday?
Surely,
Including the year.
surely he
Easy,
knows that.
easy.
God.
And
Easy.
the
Okay.
year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
1st of May, 1989. Yeah, good
Yeah,
boy.
perfect. Okay. What is Luke's star sign?
Oh,
I probably should know because I'm guessing my wife is the
yeah.
same.
I'm just thinking if I have to answer these questions later, what?
I know the answer.
No, I know the answer, but I'm just, yeah.
I'm just going to wing it.
Nah, wrong already. No, Taurus.
Yeah.
Bull, angry bull.
Which means he's stubborn.
Yeah.
He is stubborn.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is.
All right. When is Luke and Josie's anniversary?
Oh.
Oh.
Including the year.
Oh.
Don't cover your
Can you
toes.
see it?
You were the groomsman.
Oh. Shantae, why are you putting me on the spot? I'm just going to give you the month if I'm
Think
guessing.
about it. It was a hot day.
Yeah, I know it was a hot day. It's either January or February.
Well, obviously.
I'm going to say, and I'm going to say, I was married in 2014.
Calculating it.
I'm going to,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
what day?
What day?
That's good. Actually, you're pretty spot on. Wow.
There's a day.
Pick a day at the front.
the Saturday.
Saturday.
No, the day.
So, number.
The day.
Trying to think what ring. I'm going to say like,
Oh, the
So
fifth.
good.
oh,
So
The
wow.
fifth. Wow, that was good.
Actually,
Mate. Well
actually-
done. Oh, yeah.
That was good.
All right. What is Luke's favorite takeaway dinner?
Oh.
For a night in, he's watching the footy.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
just-
All right. All right. All right. Yeah.
I should do that.
Yeah.
All right. What university and degree
Oh, fuck.
He didn't
did
finish.
you
I
begin?
didn't, but did not finish.
But never complete.
I said it before if you were listening. That's a
What
spell it.
degree?
Don't have to spell it. I wouldn't even know how to spell my degree.
Degree.
Do you know it?
Well,
Did you know you went to uni?
yeah, but
He went to uni too.
Together?
No, he went to a separate uni.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm just going to put.
Yeah, just do that. That's fine. But that's not really it. But that's fine.
Yeah, we'll
And
Kind
you
of-
teacher.
Well, it was a teaching course, but it was exercise science.
that's
Yeah.
right.
And then it
So
was
that's
1
right.
year of teaching.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh,
That's
yeah, it was
right.
Okay. What was Luke's first car?
Oh, you know what it was because you made me get it because you stubborn.
I'm going to guess it is.
Yeah, the good old, the good old guess. That was a chick.
Guess.
That was a chick magnet. That thing used to pull all the
I
girls.
don't know how you fit in it.
All right. And what piece of equipment and where
No, he knows
did
this.
he injure
Oh
himself?
god.
I was there,
On
Jason.
site resulting in a surgery.
Oh god, that was the worst. But oh.
What area? What was the other question?
What
tool?
equipment? Yeah.
What tool?
Oh, still there. Just can't get rid of it.
Don't show you.
It was the worst was calling his wife to tell him.
And where? Where did he hurt himself? himself
Oh.
on the thumb.
I knew
Did you
that.
see it happen?
Yeah, he was there right in front of me. Yeah, there was blood just
I had to
dripping.
drive him to the hospital.
The blood was just dripping all over the floor. Yeah,
We lost a day that
That's-
day.
we lost a day of work that day.
Right? Was your score good? I think your score was
I
good.
probably got one or two wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah,
Pass. It's got to be.
Yeah,
Surely
you
it's a pass.
yeah.
Good job. When is Nathan's birthday?
That's pretty easy because he's actually
He's actually
the same as my wife.
87.
We share the same day.
Same
What,
day,
87?
same
87.
day as my wife, and stubborn like my wife too. I love you, JC.
All right.
87.
What was the suburb
Yeah.
of Nathan's first property?
Oh, it was and what was it called? It was called it was in Granville.
It was in Granville, yeah.
It was on the not the Esplanade. No.
Do you still have it?
No. It was on the Esplanade. Was it on the Esplanade? What was it called?
The Trongate.
The Trongate, that's it. I got it right. Granville, that's good.
Okay, fair
Is it
enough.
Grand or Green?
Granville.
Grand?
No, not the.
Oh, I spelt it right. Good. I remember that unit. Oh, that was a horrible unit. We needed Renaissance back then, actually. That would have been a good idea.
All right. What was Nathan's university degree
Oh, he did it.
and where?
Followed in your footsteps. Didn't finish it.
Didn't finish it, and he would have done it at. I'm gonna say you.
The university.
UNSW.
No.
Oh,
What was
UTS.
it? Show it to the camera.
No, Newcastle.
Project manager. He did project management.
Project management, Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle. That's
Online.
horrible.
Why
God.
didn't you finish it?
I didn't enjoy you going. I just didn't enjoy you.
It was online. He did it online.
It was through.
He needed someone like JC with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't last long.
No.
Went to tape. Went back to tape.
Oh God. Okay. What was the church that Nathan got married at
Oh.
with his lovely wife Chanel?
I don't even know if that's how you spell it. St. Bridget's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is
In, I don't know, Marrickville? Is it Marrickville? Yeah, Marrickville.
All right. What was Nathan's? Didn't even. What was Nathan's first car?
His first car he took off me because I was meant to get it, and he was
But didn't he have a car before you?
Yeah.
Toyota Hilux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he wanted to keep. I was meant to get that, and he wanted to keep it. Dumbo.
Last question.
Yeah.
What was Nathan's first job?
Ooh.
First job.
First job.
No, not even out of high school. First job. What was his first job? Do you even know what your
Did
first
you
job was?
classify with your dad? Oh, he went really a job.
No, first proper job. Like he
Proper?
went for an interview. He got the job.
Oh, interview and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, did you go for an interview with any of them?
I don't even have a resume.
I'm gonna say the first proper job was probably QPC. Like his first proper interview, sat
Doing
down,
what?
estimating.
Was that right?
Yeah, that's probably his first
We
job.
spoke about that in the.
I know,
in
that's
the-
what you spoke about.
We
it.
spoke about that in
Luke,
the
you got
podcast.
full marks.
I know, that was good. That was
You
good,
know
guys.
Nathan more than Nathan knows. Luke.
Beautiful.